Hey, greetings. This is Mitchell of Penny for a Tale. I will most likely be joined by my son Riker, but he is currently eating a lion. Thank you for coming. Today is the post Humpday talk show. If you're ever interested on our future events, current events, or just want to get us to know us better, feel free to check us out on facebook.com slash penny for a tale. We also have a Twitter account, which is twitter.com slash penny for a tale. So feel free to keep up to date via those two routes. So let's hop right into it. So the first show we have upcoming is Shinobi Gami, which will be showcased 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on the 27th, which is a Thursday. So next week, I will be joined by Savage Sparrow, the Goddess, and Renuth, friends who I've known for quite some time. I have given them each special missions, but let's talk more about Shinobi Gami. Shinobigami is an original Japanese tabletop role playing game published originally by Adventure Planning Service Incorporated. Written by Tuichiro Kawashima, and the illustration was done by Nanahara and Ochiya. It was originally published in 2009, then revised and updated for a 2014 re release. It is being translated by Kotodama Heavy Industries, the people who first translated Ryutama, if you ever saw that Kickstarter. Its full release is expected sometime later this year. The game itself is about goals, relationships, and power. In the backdrop of a modern Japan in the midst of a secret ninja Cold War. You, as players, play one of the shinobi characters who go out on missions, whether it's pursuing a powerful artifact or assassinating an individual. The range of missions could be anything. The players, the shinobi, aren't on the same team as many of the tabletop role-playing games are. You are actually from different clans, and there are several different clans, as you can kind of see on the video. Each has their own goals and their own magic or techniques. So as you are going through the mission, each person is given a secret mission, and you're trying to accomplish both. So next week, you'll be able to see that played out, learn more of the rules. It is a very interesting rule set, and I highly encourage anyone who has any interest whatsoever in ninjas or just what the Japanese tabletop industry is like. Feel free to stop on by and enjoy it. I'm really excited about it. I've given the players the missions, and they're really excited, and it will be a great time. So the second show we have for you will be the next day, the 28th, which is Never Tell Me the Odds. Never Tell Me the Odds is a recent Kickstarter. The PDFs have been delivered, but the physical books have not yet been to be delivered. Never Tell Me the Odds is a fast-paced sci-fi adventure story full of desperate and hilarious risk and rewards. Think of Han Solo and every scoundrel movie that you love and adore. This is that. And it has a really simple system where you risk different aspects of things that are important to your character. Chances are always 50-50, so you can use a flip of a coin or a dice. But you gain more of a victory the more you are willing to risk. So there's high risk and low risk and moderate risks. So that will be with a group that you are familiar with, Nerdy Nursey, CJ, and Krim. Each of those played with me on the previous game. They came from Beneath the Sea. So I look forward to seeing everyone there. And as a special setting, because Never Tell Me the Odds can be played in any setting that's sci-fi. We will be doing it in Brian K. Vaughan's Saga, which is an epic space opera fantasy comic book written by Brian K. Vaughan and illustrated by Fiona Staples. So if you love Star Wars, love epic space operas, feel free to jump in. That is 8 p.m. Once again on the 28th. So moving on, we are actually starting up our first campaign with Lex Occultum. Lex Occultum is done by Riot Minds, and this is one of many of their tabletop role-playing games. And this will be starting up on Wednesday nights every other week. So once we know the first date, we will let you know. But this is, once again, will be with Savage Sparrow, the Goddess, and Renuth. Just a brief description, and let me... There we go. So it's Europe, the 18th century. The church is losing its grip on men struggling with old beliefs and dogmas. Alchemists, occultists, and secret societies dig deeper into old mysteries and ancient obscurities. The Enlightenment is not only about breaking free from old institutions and structures, but also discovering what has been hidden for hundreds of years, even millennia. The Illuminati, the Freemasons, the Old Templars, and other secret societies hide in dark chambers plotting for a new world order, or seek to uncover the mysteries of dark arts and ancient wisdoms. The nobles and aristocrats are a dying breed living in decadence and excess, while the common people suffer in poverty. This is an era of enlightenment, but also of ignorance. Few know anything about the growing darkness, the vampires and other offspring of the devil. While conspiracies grow below the surface, kings and priests preach about submission and obedience. So that is Lex Occultum, which takes place in a fictitious historical 18th century, where the occult and supernatural are real, but not yet in full bloom. It's a pretty dark and gritty setting with amazing art, as you can see. They recently did a Kickstarter for their new book, which is their bestiary. But they have several books as well as a campaign, and one of which we will be playing. So I'm really excited to be playing this game with them and exploring this dark setting. As a note, every one of the previous games I talked about, I have spoken to the creators, and we are working out some promotional things for everyone so that more people can come and watch us play. So that's been really cool. So that is what's on our future docket. Easy peasy, Lex Occultum. Coming up as a campaign, Never Tell Me the Odds, the 28th, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And then first up will be Shinobigami, the 27th, 8 p.m. So, the game I wanted to talk about today is the game we played a couple weeks ago. Which is They Came From Beneath the Sea. It is a game published by Onyx Path. And as you guys saw a couple weeks ago, it's full of a lot of this meta cinematic B-movie type play. So first off, the character creation is not fully developed. The playtest we have has good parts of it. You can create a character, but obviously the final production will be have more options, and that comes out in 2020, mid-year. But character creation is easy. All it takes is you choosing different archetypes, such as a scientist, the grizzled war hero, etc., and picking out your moves. Gameplay was really easy. The dice system is familiar if you've ever played a World of Darkness game. But I feel what really brings this game to something new, interesting, and unique is the meta cinema system. This is something I've called it. But basically, you're not just playing characters in a horror movie, you are playing actors. And hold on one moment as I let my other cast member hop in. Welcome back. He's actually more interested in his line than talking about tabletop role playing games. Something we hope to fix later on in his life. So going back to They Came From Beneath the Sea, one huge aspect or concern I have when running the game and when I test ran it is to fully utilize the system. You have to have a good knowledge of what you can do, or be willing to jump outside of the box in terms of what other role-playing games do, especially the generic popular ones such as Pathfinder and D&D. The meta, so you have the cinematics, which allow you to rewrite scenes in a very directorial way. Then you have quips and tropes. Quips are the one-liners that are so famous in many of these, and then tropes are just these stereotypes, what your character is good at. But each one works in a very different way. And so, if you are a new group approaching this game, it might be a little bit hard to just jump into it and fully utilize this system. I know when I first ran it, the quips and the cinematics weren't used that much, and then it just became a regular World of Darkness game set in the 1950s. The group that I went live with, Nerdy Nursey, CJ, and Krim did a great job. I gave them the material beforehand and let them immerse themselves in what they can do and what they can't do, and what the game kind of emphasizes, which is that meta thinking. The last scene with Krim was one of the cooler scenes, I thought, where they had they were trying to finish the save the city with the smoke. And they came to a dead end, basically, in terms of the obstacles they had to chase. But they had a rewrite, and the rewrite is the resources you use to unlock cinematics. So they use a rewrite to put in a deleted scene where Krim put the meat on him, and they were able to successfully have a good ending to the movie because of this deleted scene. And the whole aspect of it is, why didn't the viewer see that to begin with? And, as actors and as players in the game, you point back to that deleted scene and say, that's why. So it's comical, it's hilarious, it's a fun time, not to be taken too seriously as any 1950s movie is. And I always like to approach it from a mystery science theater type way, in that hilarity, let a hilarity ensue. So that is coming out in 2020. For those who kickstarted it, you should have gotten a link to get a cool t-shirt. I'm excited about it. I can't wait for it to come out. The quips and the cinematics will all be on card form, so it's a lot easier for the players to digest. So if you were concerned about what I said about to truly experience a game, you need a little bit of the that background knowledge of what you can do. They have helped you with it. Physical cards that you can pass out to players so that they know what they can do. And stuff like that is very important in learning the system and in having fun, especially if you want to do a one-shot with new players. The campaign, not the campaign, the one shot that is featured in the playtest rules, I thought was really good, very well paced, and one of my favorite parts was a lot of the NPCs, which kind of gained a new life of their own as we were running it. So if you have any questions about They Came From Beneath the Sea, wanted to know more about it, was curious about any updates they might have, feel free to post in Facebook or to respond to one of my Twitters, and I'll be sure to keep you updated. And ladies and gentlemen, that is about it. I look forward to speaking with everyone next week before our Never Tell Me the Odds game. If there are any Kickstarter games, upcoming tabletop role-playing games you are interested in seeing played out on our show, feel free to send me a message or post on facebook.com/penny4tail. And I hope you guys have a wonderful post-hump day and a great weekend. Signing off.